My name is Ramakrishnan. I met Baba for the first time in 1954 at Poona railway station when Baba was going to Andhra for the public darshan program. I happened to hear of his passing through Poona the previous night. So early morning, I came to Poona station. I saw him giving darshan to a large number of people assembled there. And after some time, when Baba sat in the train, I was able to see him very clearly for about an hour and a half. And the train moved out. I felt that I have never seen a person like him. This was my first impression. Thereafter, I have been meeting Baba's lovers in Poona, particularly one Mr. R.K. Gadekar, who can be said to be the active worker of Poona in those days. Then in 1954 September, Baba called a gathering of his lovers in Ahmednagar, Meherabad, for what we know to be the final declaration meeting. I participated in that meeting for 2 days, and there I felt the people who came there from various communities and various provinces in India and people from foreign countries all living together in one place. That gave me a deep impression about the universality of Baba's love and his Meher cosmic family. Then during the final declaration meeting, I had an opportunity of going up the Meherabad hill with Baba. When we were going up, walking behind Baba, a thought came to me about Jesus Christ going with a multitude of people on the mount in Galilee. When I was just thinking this and following Baba, Baba sat under a tree and all those people who were following Baba sat around him. That time the biblical word came to my mind. He sat around, the multitude sat around him. That time I felt that Baba is the same one who came to the world as Christ. After the final declaration meeting, I came back to Poona and I have been trying to know more and more about Baba. Simultaneously, I have been trying to tell about Baba to friends. In a way, I have been spreading Baba's messages in my own way. Then, sometime in 1955, Baba came to one of his devotees' shop, where in those days they used to have Meher Baba lovers gatherings. The place is known as Samarth Leather Works, and it was owned by one Mr. Bapu Sahib Sindhi. When Baba visited that place, it was 11th December 1955. I had an opportunity of sitting with him in that shop, and there was a huge crowd when Baba came out of the shop, and police had to be called to control the crowd. After some time, when I was leaving, I came to know that Baba will be resting at Bindra House, and I may have a chance of seeing him. So I went to Bindra House along with Digambar Gadekar and Madhusudan. When we were with Baba, I had some papers, cyclo-styled Baba's messages, and a chart of God Speaks photographed by a friend of mine. Baba called me nearby. That time, I happened to ask Baba that, am I to effect any change in my life having come in contact with you? That time Baba said, do you want to become a yogi, a sannyasi, or muni? Then he said, nothing doing, eat, drink, and be cheerful, and spread my message of love and truth to others as a pleasant hobby, but not as a work. This was the first instruction Baba gave to me, and I consider it Baba wanted me to work for him. Then after this incident, Baba visited Poona Central Jail in response to a call of a prisoner who wanted to have Baba's darshan. I think it was somewhere in October 1954. A life prisoner craving for Baba's darshan, and in response to his call, Baba came, and the jail authorities made arrangement for the prisoner to be brought at the gate. And Baba gave darshan to the prisoner. Thereafter, he gave darshan to the public who assembled there in the residence of one of his lovers, known as Agassi. Thereafter, as far as I remember, Baba used to come often in Poona, and whenever he passed through Poona, I had an opportunity of meeting him. Baba gave his public darshan first time in Poona on 14 January 1956 in Shivaji Nagar. During this darshan program, I had an opportunity of assisting the arrangement as a volunteer, and I should say I came in very close contact with Baba that day. After this darshan, I have been very seriously thinking of starting some sort of a gathering in Poona with a view to make people in Poona know about Baba. With this view, I have been trying to find a place, and with the help of a friend of mine, I managed to get a private house where we started conducting weekly meetings since 1957. I think it was in the month of April we began this meeting. And Baba happened to come there in the month of June and bless that atmosphere. And after that, Baba again visited that place and did poor work. We collected about 200 poor people from the middle class people, and Baba washed their feet and bowed down to their feet and gave them 10 rupees each. And I think in 1958, again Baba came to Poona, and that time he was staying in Botanical Garden. There he wanted to do poor work, and we were asked to collect about 200 school-going children. And we collected 200 school-going children. Baba gave them clothes and sweets. This was the second occasion Baba did poor work in Poona with the assistance of the Poona workers. I think Baba held another lovers gathering in Meherabad in 1955. During Baba's summer stay in Poona, I used to get opportunities of being in Baba's presence. There, of course, various things takes place in the atmosphere of Baba. Once a group of Baba lovers of Poona sitting with Baba, Baba once mentioned, all of a sudden, looking at me, he said, "Sexless self is the highest experience." What was that? Sexless self is the highest experience. When I heard this, and Baba asked me to repeat that 7 times. I tried to repeat it, and I think after about 4 times, there was a slip of tongue. Immediately Baba raised his finger and said, "Stop." I personally felt that it was a sort of a hint or an instruction Baba gave to me for myself. And probably I think a stray thought must have been passing through me when I was sitting with Baba. And this gave me an idea that Baba is conscious of everything that is happening in the minds of people who are with Baba. And Baba gives instructions in such a way that only the person concerned knows about it. On another occasion, when a group of Baba families were sitting around Baba in Guru Prasad, Baba addressed one girl and said, "If you can take one drop of love from me, you will turn to Meera." Meera was one of the saints of Maharashtra, saints of India. She loved Krishna and became a perfect master. So these are some incidences which I remember. Another incident happened when I was with Baba. Once a lover of Baba came to him and asked for his grace. He said, "Baba, bless me." That time, Baba said, "Do you know the meaning of my blessing? Those who receive my blessing, they will become stark naked. They will be in the streets. So be careful before you ask me for my blessing." This lover of Baba said, "Baba, I want your blessing alone." Then Baba became a little serious and said, "I give you my blessing. You may go now." After some days, Baba, as usual, after his summer stay, he went back to Meherabad. The lover who sought Baba's blessing and received from Baba his blessing, after a few months came to Poona and stayed in a sort of an inn we call Dharmasala. He was without a home. He was a married man having 2-3 children, and how he became in that condition, I do not know. Gradually, he had to leave that place where he was staying, and he was literally on the streets without a place to lay his head on, including his family members. That time, another Baba lover, who was a police official, Mr. S.M. Thurekar, who was a deputy superintendent of police, accommodated this lover in his outhouse in Poona. Then the condition of this lover became so miserable, I was told that he even tried to commit suicide. And in that period, he happened to meet one of Baba's Mandali and narrated all his pitiable story. The Mandali told these incidents to Baba, and then Baba called him to Guru Prasad. Then Baba asked him all about his life, as he is used to whenever a lover comes to him. Then, hearing all his miserable condition of life, Baba told him, "Listen, I am now taking back my blessing from you." Then he asked one of the Mandali who was sitting with him, a non-resident Mandali from Bombay. He asked him to give that man 100 rupees. He gave him 100 rupees, and that man went away. After a few months, this man, when I saw him, he used to move in a taxi in Poona, and he was residing somewhere in Poona. And he was well dressed, and he was in a very happy condition. In those days, I was very actively trying to collect funds for Poona Center. We were trying our best to build a center in Poona, in the birthplace of Baba. During that year, when Baba was in Poona for his summer stay, when I was sitting with him, he asked me, "Do you know so-and-so? Have you ever taken any money from him, or have you asked any money from him?" I said, Baba, I know him. He stays in Poona, but I never took any money from him, nor have I ever asked him. But his wife used to send me 2 rupees every month for the Poona Center. I take that much. That time Baba told me that you should not take any money from him, nor ask any from him. It's all right you take 2 rupees from him for your center work. Then after some months, when Baba was in Poona again during his summer stay, this lover came to him in a very sad condition. That time, Baba asked him to tell the truth. And from my experience, I know whenever Baba asks somebody to tell the truth, it can be easily assumed the person concerned is hiding something. Sometimes Baba used to ask, are you telling the truth? That means the person is hiding something and Baba is trying to give him an opportunity to tell the truth. This person expressed all his innocence, and then Baba asked him to go away. After some time, this man was sentenced for what I understand, impersonation, and he was in jail in Poona. Sent for impersonation, that is pretending to be someone else, he was not. During the time when he was in jail, beloved Baba helped the family through his lovers in Poona. This is a wonderful incident for us to know the meaning of God's grace or blessing. We generally think that by getting God's grace or blessing, we will become earthly, glorious and rich and things like that. The real grace of God makes man to renounce world totally and conscious of God's presence alone. And this I take as a beautiful example through which Baba taught us the meaning of grace. This lover, when he approached him for his blessing, he must naturally had in his mind hope of becoming earthly rich and happy. In spite of Baba's warning, he sought for Baba's blessing and he got it. And the result was he became poor and in the sense earthly poor. But afterwards, when Baba took back his blessing and gave him money through a lover, he became very rich. And then naturally, when man tried to become rich in this world, it must be always through the ways of the world, which involves falsehood, and they naturally reap the fruit of that. So I take it a beautiful instance by which Baba illustrated what we should know by the word grace. Like this, there are many incidences one could quote when one was with Baba. When Baba used to stay in Poona, he used to give opportunities for lovers to meet him. He used to call his Poona lovers around him very often. Likewise, he used to give darshans for Poona public. On these occasions, we had the opportunity of working for his cause in a way of collecting people around him and giving them the opportunity of seeing Baba and with him. One such opportunity was in 1962. It was a world gathering of Baba lovers, which is known now East-West Gathering. The East-West Gathering was one of the biggest gatherings of Baba lovers that took place in Poona, where more than 5,000 people sat in the presence of Baba, people from various parts of India and Western countries and Eastern countries. The report of the whole gathering is given in the book East-West Gathering by Francis Brabazon. I will just narrate certain incidents of this gathering, which I think is very important. The first day of the gathering, on 1st November 1962, when Baba sat on the stage, and Dr. Harry Canmore gave the Parvardiga's prayer, and Baba began giving darshan. Immediately there was an outpouring of rain, which drenched practically everyone sitting there. This made me think that it was really the grace of God descended on earth at that time through the symbolic falling of this rain. Because in our scriptures, we read that God showered flowers on God-man when he was on this earth from heaven. It may be the imagination of people who had written such scriptures, but what I understand is the real grace is symbolically presented by the fall of rain at the moment Baba began giving darshan. It took place every day when Baba began darshan during that 1962 gathering from 1st to 4th November. The next big gathering that took place in Poona, for which we had the fortune to work for Baba's cause, was in 1965. It was in the month of May, and it was Baba's Eastern Lovers Gathering. This gathering took place for, I think, 5 days. On the 1st of May, beloved Baba gave his darshan in Poona Center to all those lovers who came from various parts of the eastern countries. Whenever there was to be a gathering of Baba lovers to be held, Baba holds various meetings of his workers, including the Mandali, and then he gives instructions what he expects us to do. For example, for this 1965 gathering, Baba came many months earlier to Poona and held various meetings. The important instructions was to issue a circular to all Baba lovers that Baba will be in Poona giving his darshan from such and such date to such and such date. And then we have to receive letters from them giving the number of people who are arriving from various parts of India and abroad. And then we have to make suitable accommodation for their stay, their boarding and lodging, and their transport from their lodge to the place Baba gives darshan and take them back. Such arrangements we have to make. And Baba gives minute detailed instructions about every work he entrusts us. So 1965, and the lesson we learn from this is, when we just try to do what Baba tells us, even though it may be beyond ordinary man to carry out it, it becomes possible when we try our best. For example, to accommodate 2,000 to 3,000 people in a town like Poona, we require accommodation in various parts, buildings and their food arrangement and transport. But the help comes in a wonderful way, which we realize comes from his love and grace. I remember in 1965, when we had so many special trains carrying Baba lovers coming to Poona, we had to unload the luggages of lovers, then carry them to lodges situated in different parts of Poona. And one gets surprised, how we will manage it. During 1965, I remember when we had very few hands to work, and we were not used to employ paid labor for such work. I remember a person who was not known to me till that day came to Poona station with a vehicle and a number of laborers to help us. And this person's service really gave us a great help in unloading the luggage of thousands of people who came and shipped them to different lodges they were to be accommodated, and then look after them for the number of days they stayed in Poona. So from this incident, we learned that when Baba gave an order, he, in his own way, helped us strength and helping hands to fulfill that order. Now I will talk about the Poona Center opening. Poona Center was opened by beloved Baba in 1964, May 1st. See, from 1958, we have been trying to build this center, and we brought our idea before Baba. And Baba approved the idea of having a beautiful center in Poona, and in various ways helped us in our efforts. And when this building was completed, Baba came and opened this hall with his own hands and sat here and gave his darshan to his lovers. That time, what Baba said, I remember having sat here on the stage, being received by his lovers. He said, I have created the atmosphere you all wanted, and I have blessed it. Now it is up to you all to maintain it. And by beloved Baba's love and grace, we have been trying our utmost to maintain the sanctity of this atmosphere of his love, and we are carrying on the activities for his cause in his love and grace. An incident of Baba's love and compassion for his dear ones. In 1965, I had a cough and cold and some choking of throat, and my voice was very hoarse. So Baba asked me, what's the trouble? I said, it is just a common cold, there is nothing important. Although I had suffered many times before, it was in the year 1965, I had a cough and cold and my throat was hoarse. One day Baba asked me, what's the trouble? I said, it is just a cold. And although such complaints I had even before, this particular time Baba was very serious, and he called Dr. Kambata, who was staying in Guru Prasad. He asked her to take me to Dr. Grant and check up. So she took me to Dr. Grant in Poona and had a thorough checkup of my body, my blood, urine, stool, and all parts of the body. And there was nothing wrong. And they prescribed some medicine for the chest complaints. After a week, one day, Dr. Kambata phoned up to me and called me to Dr. Grant's nursing home. They checked up my throat and they found something growing just on the sound tube. And the doctor immediately said that I had to be operated. Although I just came there without knowing what for I was called, I was admitted in the hospital and operated my throat. Some sort of a growth was developing in my throat, and I was perfectly cured by this operation. This shows that Baba was aware of the danger that was developing in me, of which I myself was not aware, nor even the doctor suspected. This is an incident in which I felt Baba's love and compassion clearly manifested in his dealing with his lovers. Once when we were with Baba in Botanical Garden. Baba asked me, all of a sudden, have you surrendered to me? My reply, spontaneously given, was, yes, Baba. Then that time, we were sitting with Baba, almost all Mandali were there. Then Baba started asking one by one, have you surrendered to me? And each Mandali member replied, no, Baba. So I was very much surprised that these people who were living with Baba for 30 to 40 years and they have not surrendered, and I said that I surrendered. So I was thinking that these people might be making some sort of a fun of me. What I said, I felt it was true. And then, after some time, Baba started playing cards with all those people around there. And in between, Baba used to ask various things. What time did you sleep last night? So that time particularly, Baba had given me some work of typing some manuscript for a new book. I remember it was Beams. And I completed only the previous night. And I told Baba that I slept about 2:30 in the morning. So during the time when we were playing cards, Baba said, tonight you must go to bed early, and this is my order. I said, yes, Baba. Then after some time, Baba stopped the playing of cards and began explaining the planes of consciousness, keeping some playing cards and a cap he picked up from another Mandali, and explained to me how a person progress on the plane of consciousness when he comes in contact with a master. Then after some time, Adi came there and he told me that he is leaving. So he took me in his car and we both went back to my house. In those days, Adi used to stay in my house whenever he visited Poona. Adi had some work in the city, so he took me along with him. I went with him and he finished his work. On our way back, we had some food from some hotel, and then he had to fill petrol in his car and fill air in the wheels. And somehow we reached home by about 10:30 in the night. And we had some little chat, and I went to bed probably about 11 o'clock or so. And next morning, Baba and the Mandali were to leave for Meherajat. So early morning, Adi got up. I gave him water for his bath and breakfast, and he went away. And I was just preparing to go to office. But Adi returned in a few minutes' time and simply said, Baba said, you disobeyed him. And he immediately went back. So I was very much surprised in what way I have disobeyed him. He did not give me any specific order to do anything. Then I just went to office. Then casually it occurred to me, Baba did tell me to go to bed early. Probably this must be the disobedience he must have mentioned. And it was a Saturday. We generally work half day and we come back at about 12:30 home. When I just reached back home, Dadi Khairawala and Meherji Karkaria came to me and said, Baba left at about 7:30 and he told you not to worry, forget it. And they immediately left without giving any further explanation of what happened. Now, I was wondering what this Baba's expression meant. Then afterwards I thought it must be a lesson for me to show that it was not very easy for one to surrender to Baba as I thought. Because when Baba asked me, have you surrendered? I said, yes, Baba. And all the Mandali members said, no, Baba. So he gave me a casual instruction to go to bed early, and I was not able to keep it up. So the next day, Baba sent me that message through Adi that I have disobeyed him. This proves that to surrender to Baba means to live every moment of one's life in obedience to his will, even it may appear to be an insignificant order.
Jai Baba to you all. I came to Baba in 1959. I used to attend the Theosophical Society lectures, and there Mr. D.N. Irani and my friend Moti Irani, we used to go together, and there we had met Subhadra, and she brought us to Baba. When we came to Baba the first time, Baba kissed me on my cheek, and I felt an electric shock going through my body. From that time, I feel that Baba is someone great, and I should devote all my life to him and be of service to him till the end of my life. Of course, there are some incidents where Baba used to ask me sometimes about my mother, because my mother has got high blood pressure and she cannot get sleep at night, so she wakes up at midnight. So I used to tell him that she used to disturb me in my sleep and I used to feel sleepy, and then he used to ask me, does she have her food also at night, midnight? So I used to say, no, Baba, she had already had her food, and why would she eat again? But Baba used to say, no, you just see, and the next time she gets up and you see, she will be eating something. Then there was another incident. I had got sick once. So Baba, Jasawala families had written to Baba that Homa is sick and she's gone down too much and all that. So once when it was his brother's son's wedding, I was also invited. So at that time I had worn a sari. So Baba just pointed out to me that I had grown fat and not thin. And people used to say that I'm become thin. So he laughed at me. Jai Baba. Some years back, my friend and I used to go to Swami Amar Jyoti, and we used to like his lectures very much. So we used to attend his lectures. Then once, I don't know what happened to me, I was drawn towards him, and I felt, my mind was all disturbed. I said, whom to follow, Baba or Swami Amar Jyoti? Then one night I was restless and I did not know what to do. Then I said, no. I thought to myself that no, Baba is greater than him and I must follow him and leave this Swami Amar Jyoti. So then afterwards Baba came to know about it, and he called, there was a meeting at Meherabad. So there he told me that that he is the highest of the high, and I have to follow him and not go after these so-called primary teachers, as he said, that he is the principal and they are the primary teachers. So I have to hold on to his Dharma until the end. And that is how I have devoted all my life to him and I serve him and his cause. Jai Baba. Once I was going on the cycle and I met Baba's. Of course, there was a beggar going on across the road, and I saw a car passing there, so I got down and I tried to bring the beggar on this side. So the car stopped, and I came to know that it was Baba's car. So Baba was very happy to know that I helped the beggar to come on this side of the road and not meet with an accident. I was working at N. Cooper and Company, seed merchants, and there was some misunderstanding, so I had to leave that work. And for 1 year, I was without work. Then I was in search of getting a job, but I couldn't get it, so I left the idea because Baba was to come in March, so I left the idea of going in search of work. Then all of a sudden, Meherwan Jatsawala received a letter from Airaj that Baba has asked me to look after a job, look for a job. So at that time, I met my friend's brother, and all of a sudden he told me that there is a job at the liquor shop. I was all shocked, and I knew that there was Baba's hand in it, and that is how I am working there for the last 6 years. Of course, I am very grateful to Baba for all that he has done to me, and I hope that I will be grateful to the end of my life. Once Subhadra and Madhusudan had invited Baba to their house. So I had taken some mangoes and I had peeled them and I took it in front of Baba to eat. Now at that time I was a newcomer and I did not know Baba's ways. So he used to put the mango in his mouth and spit it. And I used to immediately pick it up and throw it in the basin. Now I did not know. And he used to repeat it so many times that I felt that I am doing some wrong in picking up the mango and putting it in the basin. Then I stopped doing that. I did not know that they used to eat, just taste what Baba has eaten. At Guru Prasad, when Baba used to give darshan, I used to go in the mornings. So Baba knew that I was going late to work. So always he used to point out that it is time for me to go to work. And that is how I used to go in time. But still, I'm the same late goer to work. I don't know. I'm not able to change my ways still. But